I am an optimist in chief. And the reason why I'm optimist in chief, and I will always remain one, is that the world may seem to be in a terrible mess today. But what I have learned from my life experiences and also in my professional career is that there is hope. With hope, we can achieve anything, because hopelessness destroys the will to live. And what I've learned, and I believe all of us here have done the same, it is only by holding on to hope and promoting hope in others that we can actually change Africa and change the world. We have everything it takes to do so. I was not born into world. I grew up herding goats. Like a young man you can see in this picture here. I grew up herding goats in a small town in the northwestern part of Cameroon. And the only hope and inspiration that I got from my parents was hard work and perseverance. Because they told me that with hard work and perseverance, everyone's dreams are valid. I went to school without shoes. But the inspiration was simple. Work hard, but hard work is not enough. Combine it with passion, but passion alone is not enough. Persevere, but perseverance alone is not enough. But patience with humility sometimes, and be obedient and respect one another. Distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, when I finished university, I stayed for 1 year volunteering to gain skills, and through perseverance, I won a scholarship to study at the University of Nottingham. It was those volunteering skills that helped me to win that scholarship. And those volunteering skills are actually what gave me the opportunity, and I'm still using some of those skills today. And I later on went to Harvard University Kennedy School of Government to pursue an executive education to understand how energy policy works and how the 21st century in the African continent, how the geopolitics of energy can actually drive Africa's transformation if this is harnessed. But there is a proverb in where I come from, in the northwestern part of Cameroon, that better little than too little. Better little than too little. I made an effort to get the little. Each and every one of us here have made an effort to get a little, and let us continue to make an effort to get a little. Incrementally, we will transform the African continent. These experiences have taught me a lot that I share with you here today. The first is never be afraid to dream. Never be afraid to dream, distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, because by dreaming big, if your dream doesn't scare you, as they say, then that's not a dream. The second is, dreaming is not enough. Yes, it's good to dream. Dreaming is not enough. To achieve anything, you must apply discipline. You must apply discipline and consistency. That is tested and proven. You must apply discipline and consistency. And you must ensure that you have goals. You must plan for every day. Have a goal and then you have a plan. Each and every day you must plan. You must plan every day. You must work hard. Hard work is very crucial. Working really hard is key. The third is that you should never ever forget that how much you have is what you do with what you have. Let me repeat that. How much you have is what you do with what you have. Some of us are waiting for manna to fall from heaven. We already have the manna. It's just what we do with what we have. Distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, the final one is that never ever aspire to make a living. Always aspire to make a difference in people's lives. All of you here today have the blessing of an education, and as you know, knowledge is power. Yes, it truly is. Use your pens to write about Africa. Use your knowledge and your pens to promote hope in other people. Always know that you can touch each and every one, and that you are someone else's inspiration. And use your knowledge to promote hope and change Africa, and write about Africa. Tweet about Africa in a positive way. And always contribute in a positive way to transformational discussions. Distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, God is no respecter of persons. And while He favorably gave Africa the resource, Africans must work hard. They must work against many odds. I've had someone joke that God must have been in a very good mood when He created the African continent. As someone who has spent some time in other continents, I agree. I attest to this. Just, let's face it, from the strategic position, symmetrically about the equator, Africa boasts of not only the best weather of all the years, but it boasts of the best weather all year round. But it's favorably positioned to tap into solar energy 365 days a year. The continent of Africa, when you talk of the basic factors of production, this continent, actually as we speak today, 65% of uncultivated arable land is in this continent. When you talk of internal renewable fresh waters, 10% is in this continent. When you talk of the rivers, of the seas, of the lakes, when you talk of the captivating sceneries, when you talk of the diverse, exciting wildlife, it is all here in the African continent. This is in addition to the tremendous, seemingly infinite mineral wealth in the continent. And it is a responsibility to erase the shame. It is a responsibility, distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, to erase the shame. That is the paradox of desperate lack amidst plentiful opportunity that has now become synonymous to the name Africa. Distinguished colleagues, innovative volunteerism is the formula. Let's apply it together. As scriptures underscore, iron sharpens iron. Innovative volunteerism bestows on each and every one of us an opportunity and duty to use what we have in our areas of expertise, in our areas of enterprise as premium for targeted alliance building, where the aim is enhancing and buttressing capacity of our fellow brothers and sisters and neighbors so we can jointly drive and engage in this catalytic area to collectively build wealth for our countries and for our own continent. And the priority and the tangible areas of engagement being the Ebaposa Big Five pillars. As we do these, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let us be reminded of what Kwame Nkrumah said on the 12th of June 1965. He told the people of Ghana that as we do this, we know that the task ahead is great indeed. The task ahead is great indeed, and heavy is the responsibility. And yet it is noble and glorious. It is a noble and a glorious challenge. But it is a challenge which calls for the courage to dream. It is a challenge which calls for the courage to dare. It is a challenge which calls for the courage to envision, the courage to act. And that action cannot be anything less, but it should be able to be taken with the vigor and the commitment that we must do. Distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, we know that by crawling a child learns to stand. As you can see in that image, by crawling a child learns to stand, that having witnessed the effectiveness of innovative volunteerism, using what we have, our talents, our skills across the continent, the glaring opportunities are there, and we must resolve to be able to act with determination. We must resolve to be able to refine our skills, to be able to tap into the opportunities that Africa presents. Innovative volunteerism is how we can reshape. It is the pathway, it is the signal, it is the sign that can help us reshape the development of Africa. Yes, it is possible. As Chinua Achebe once says, when we gather together as kingsmen and women, we do not do so because we cannot see the moonlight from where we are. When we gather as kingsmen and women, distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, under the moonlight village, we do not do so because we cannot see the moon. Everybody can see it in his own compound. Rather, we come together because it is a good thing for kingsmen and women to do. This gathering here today and this discussion, we gather here as sons and daughters of the African continent. We gather here to tap into opportunities to discuss it differently, into the team spirit, because we know that togetherness is our strength. Togetherness, we can be able to harness what is needed to actualize the imperatives of food security, to actualize the shared imperative of employment, to actualize the shared imperative of creating wealth and building climate resilience for the African continent today. This is the underlying premise that should energize each and every one of us to drive transformational change for the entire African continent. This is the underlying premise that should be able to ensure that we can be able to drive this transformation with passion, with energy. And this is what innovative volunteerism is all about. This is how we can reshape the development of the African continent and do so without leaving anyone behind. Let us therefore galvanize actions using what we have and ensure that we can win it for ourselves and win it also for the future generation, because at this moment of need, we must usher ourselves to action. If there is a mother somewhere bearing his or her kid before he or she reaches the age of 5, that should matter to us. And if it matters to us, we must usher ourselves to action. If there is an unemployed who is roaming around the streets or somewhere that we know with a skill that can add value to what is produced in the continent today, That should matter to us, because our youth are not supposed to be buried under the Mediterranean